like shattered glass, by Arwhale. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Celestia's sun had just begun to peek over the horizon, briefly coating the sky in a whitish gold before fading away into blue. The crisp early spring air was shedding the trees of their flowers, blowing petals of various colors around in swirls like a school of fish swimming in the ocean. There was not a stir yet in Little Ponyville, as the Saturday morning was still young. Not a stir, that is, but the faint chatter of a sewing machine. While Rarity always appreciated the value of beauty sleep, she was no stranger to all-nighters. Her mane was disheveled and messy, matted together with sweat from working all night long, working with the daintiness and care of a true artist. Her eyes never lost focus through the lenses of her working glasses, and her hooves never slipped or made a mistake. A row of mannequins off to the side were fitted with a series of dresses she made in a period of only one weekend. Her latest fashion line for an exhibition in Canterlot only one day away. She was on her last ensemble now, stitching the intricate design together with intense concentration. The sun aligned itself with her window as it climbed above the horizon, pouring light right onto her working table as she sewed the last part of her dress together. Rarity flinched as the light blinded her, bringing a hoof up to her eyes to shield them. She carefully used her other hoof to guide the fabric, putting the finishing stitches on her dress and sighing with relief as she finished her work. She looked over to the window, taking note of the sunshine, and sighed again, this time with exhaustion.
Looks like yet another night without sleep. You really need a vacation, Rarity.
The door to the guest room opened down the hall from her workroom. Rarity turned her head to the sound, hearing little hoofsteps coming down the hallway. Sure enough, the head of her little sister poked through the doorway, and she walked into the room. Rarity regarded her with a puzzled expression hovering her newly made piece of an empty mannequin.
Well, you're certainly up early today.
She placed the dress with great care on the mannequin.
Did you sleep well?
Sweetie Belle shook her head.
Not really.
She yawned.
What about you? You're up even earlier than me.
Rarity shook her head, smiling a bit.
Actually, I've been up all night working again?
Sweetie Belle's voice cracked with astonishment.
This must be like the third time this week.
Actually, it was the fourth, but Rarity didn't want to correct her sister on that fact. She sighed.
Yes, I'm aware.
She adjusted the dress so it looked perfect on the mannequin.
But this exhibition is the perfect way for me to get myself noticed in Canterlot. All the biggest names in fashion and design will be there to see my work. And it would be a crime not to take advantage of this opportunity to show them my talents.
Sweetie Belle yawned again and mumbled under her breath.
Yeah, but not getting any sleep is a crime too.
Rarity heard her sister's remark and rolled her eyes, smiling. Her sister was right, of course, but still.
I know. I promise, sweetie. As soon as I get the chance, I'll get some sleep. But I'm simply just too busy at the moment. Surely you can understand.
Rarity looked at Sweetie Belle with pleading eyes. Her sister frowned but relented, still showing her disapproval by staring at the floor.
Oh, okay, but I still don't like it.
She gave her last 2 cents with a pout. Rarity exhaled deeply, wiping her eyes and fighting the urge to close her eyes and fall asleep right there.
Neither do I, Sweetie Belle. Neither do I.
Sweetie Belle went back to the door, calling back.
What do we have to eat for breakfast? I'm so hungry I could eat a...
Rarity wasn't paying much attention, and so she interrupted her mid-sentence.
Yes, I have some cereal and milk in the refrigerator downstairs. Sorry, but I'm just not in the mood for making a big breakfast today, Sweetie Belle. You understand, don't you? That's fine with me, she yelled. If I stayed up all night, I probably wouldn't want to do much of anything either.
Sweetie Belle's words were well-meaning, but her tone retained a bit of irony and bitterness, which her elder sister noticed right away.
Point taken, Sweetie Belle,
she said with an irritating sing-song voice.
I promise I'll get a good night's sleep tonight, okay? Okay, fine.
Sweetie Belle was already on the stairs. Rarity waited until the hoofsteps had receded before shaking her head, saying to herself, "That filly is simply impossible." But still, she knew her sister was right. It was very unhealthy to do what she was doing for even one night, let alone 4. She groaned. At least her lineup looked fabulous. She stepped back and admired her handiwork. She had 2 dresses for each season, making a total of 8. For each pair, one was a more conventional styled dress, and the other a more extravagant, or as Applejack would say, frou-frou outfit. For the grand finale, she had even made the dress she had intentionally intended for Twilight's birthday in Canterlot, and it stood prominently at the front of the row. With this display, she was sure to be noticed at the exhibition. She smiled proudly.
Hey Rarity, which cupboard is the cereal in?
Sweetie Belle called upstairs from the kitchen. She hadn't realized it, but she had been standing there for almost 5 minutes. She shook her head, as if waking up from a trance.
Hold on, I'm coming, Sweetie Belle.
Rarity took one last look at her creations and closed the door to her workroom.
Wait, I don't understand. What's the problem?
Sweetie Belle rolled her eyes at Scootaloo, who was walking beside her with Applebloom down the center street.
The problem is that my sister never has any time to relax. She's always working no matter what. She never sleeps.
Sweetie Belle's voice cracked again with a frustrated shout, startling her friends on either side of her. She imitated Rarity's voice now.
Oh, Sweetie Belle, I'd love to, but I have to make this dress for an extremely important designer in Canterlot. I'm so sorry, little dear, but I have to make a new line for an exhibition next week that I simply cannot afford to miss. I've got this thing, and that thing is that I can't just sleep. You understand, don't you?
Sweetie Belle's impression was pretty spot on, and it elicited a smirk from Scootaloo. Applebloom, on the other hand, was not smiling at all.
I'm sure she knows what she's doing, Sweetie Belle,
the farm filly began. Sweetie Belle, however, cut her off before she could say anything further.
And that's the worst part. She knows what she's doing, and she's still doing it anyway. And now I can't sleep because I'm worried about her not sleeping, and...
Sweetie Belle groaned, kicking the dirt with her hoof with frustration. Her two friends walked silently, unsure of what to say. Finally, Applebloom spoke up.
Rarity runs her own store. Ponies get busy sometime when they run their own places. She's probably just going through a busy time, that's all. Me and Applejack are up till Celestian knows when, making cider during cider season. She's probably just going through a busy time, that's all,
she said, smiling nervously.
Well, yeah, but...
Sweetie Belle stuttered, taking Applebloom's word into consideration.
Applebloom's got a point, Sweetie Belle,
Scootaloo added.
I mean, it's cool that you care about her and all, but your worrying about her isn't going to do much. You just gotta let her do her thing. But
Sweetie Belle tried to protest, but in vain. She knew her friends were probably right. She sighed.
Oh, okay. I guess, but I still don't like it.
With this, said none of the fillies spoke to one another for quite some time. Scootaloo, being the one most easily bored, was the first to pop the question.
So, what are we gonna do today for our cutie marks?
Both of the other fillies shrugged. Neither of them seemed especially eager to start planning their next excursion, their spirits still a bit dampened by the sad nature of their last conversation. Scootaloo rolled her eyes.
Come on, guys, you coming up with anything?
More shrugs. Scootaloo sighed.
Gee, you guys sure are no fun today,
she said with a groan. Sweetie Belle sighed.
I don't know, I'm just not in the mood for doing any crusading today, Scoots.
She sulked idly, kicking a pebble with her hoof, watching it bounce down the dirt road, knocking up little puffs of dust and dirt with each bounce. Scootaloo bumped Sweetie Belle playfully with her side.
Aw, come on, cheer up, Sweetie Belle. I know you're still worked up about your sister and all, but you're starting to get me a little worried. You sure nothing else is going on?
Sweetie Belle rolled her eyes, looking up from the ground at Scootaloo with an annoyed glare.
Yes, I'm sure. Like I said before, I haven't been sleeping much lately. I'm just tired. Well, you know what'll cheer you up? Asked Scootaloo, trying and failing to liven Sweetie Belle's spirits. Some good old-fashioned cutie mark crusading. I'm sure you'll forget all about being tired once you start doing something. Sweetie Belle didn't reply. Scootaloo frowned. Applebloom, who had been silent for a long time, finally piped up from Sweetie Belle's other side. We could try doing something nice and easy, something that wouldn't be too hard to do. You know, 'cause Sweetie Belle ain't feeling good. What you got in mind? Said Scootaloo, happy that at least one of her friends wasn't down in the dumps today. Applebloom thought for a second, tapping her chin with her hoof. I don't know. Kickball? She suggested. Sweetie Belle was not responding, but Scootaloo looked over at Applebloom with a skeptical expression. We've already tried kickball, haven't we? I mean, we have, right? Scootaloo asked, unsure. Applebloom shook her head. Nope, never tried it before, she replied with confidence. Scootaloo was surprised. Huh? Wow, you would think that after doing stuff like hang gliding and skydiving and water skiing, we would have tried out kickball.
She reflected, laughing sheepishly. She nudged Sweetie Belle with her hoof.
What do you think, Sweetie Belle?
The little unicorn gave yet another shrug, kicking a second pebble down the road.
I don't care. Fine by me.
Scootaloo needed no more encouragement to get started. She clapped her hooves, rubbing them together with anticipation.
Right. Now, where can we get a good ball?